guys ready? Head coach Adrian Heath. Andy, we'll come with you.
Adrian, you talked earlier this week about this being a trap game and not wanting your players to be complacent. Did you feel like that's how you guys started?
I don't think we were complacent. I just don't think we played particularly well. And when you consider the amount of good opportunities we had first half and our final ball, the weight of the pass, choice of pass, decision making wasn't good enough, which has not been like us of late. And but the one thing I can't default is they keep going. The energy in the group to keep going, and when you're chasing a game like that, you always leave yourself vulnerable. And they've got a better pace up front. So, but I don't know why I said to the staff at half-time, I think we'll get something out of this game. I think the belief was strong enough that we would come back and get something. And I knew that if we got the next goal with enough time, that we'd have a chance of winning the game.
Adrian, you made a halftime switch, bringing on Will, and then later in the match we saw Manager Garcia come on. 2 tactical changes. We saw a formation change as well. What made you want to change the strategy going forward to end up getting those 2 goals?
Well, I think with the results that we've had of late, it gave us a little bit of an opportunity to maybe go for it a little bit more. And, we went and put 2 up top and sort of gambled with Ray playing in that sort of right-hand hole because he likes to play on that, coming in on his left foot. But it leaves you a bit vulnerable at times on the counter, but I felt it was a gamble we're taking today. And obviously getting Mender on the field is good for him. I thought Fraga gave us some real quality moments. But it's one of them, in a few weeks' time, I know we'll look back and go, yeah, didn't play as well as we can, but we managed to get another 3 points. Somebody's just told me the last 11 games we've got more points than anybody in MLS, so that's a good start.
You said earlier this week that, for example, the Sporting Kansas City game, you had to really go in and try to fire the team up at halftime. Did you have to do that today?
No, I was more disappointed in the quality. I don't think there was a lack of effort today or a lack of energy. I just thought there was a lot of, the things that has been really good for us in the last 4 or 5 weeks at home has been the movement, the quality of passing, the quality of the final ball, and then the execution. I thought all of that was off in the first half today. And if you don't have all of that, you can have the best players in the world, but you're not going to score too many goals if the final ball, the run's not good enough. But, the lads were determined at half-time to get something out of the game, and they did.
Was this indicative of a team that is able to get results even when you're not at the finest, to kind of show that you can be there on the days that you're not at your best?
Well, we've I think in the last 11 games, it was 8 wins and 2 draws and 1 defeat. So the one thing I said all the time, and I say it to you guys in the week, that I can say the right things to the players and try and make them believe me. But there's nothing like winning games of football to give them that belief and that confidence that to keep going, because good things will happen if we keep doing good things. And, Alan's ran a million miles again this evening, and for the winning goal, he's come again. He's made that 60-yard run again and opened it up for Ray, and then he's picked a great ball out for Luis.
Any update on Bakai at this moment?
No, doesn't look good, though. We don't know. We'll have a better idea. He's having an MRI as we speak. Probably have a bit more information either later this evening or tomorrow, but I would think my first fear is that it's not so good.
Were there a couple saves there by Dane when you guys were down by 1 that you wouldn't expect him to make?
Yeah, there was one he made a good one. He got something on it. We thought he was offside, and people upstairs thought he was offside. But no, he's playing well again. He's got a lot of confidence in himself, but it is. I'm not being over critical or anything, but I expect him to make them saves. He's a good goalkeeper.
What did you think of Reynosa's game today? Was it kind of like your team's?
Yeah, I thought there was moments of proper Ray, and then there was moments sloppy. Our corners, which have been excellent the last few weeks, were poor in the first half. And their momentum changes. We can get the crowd going, and if the first ball wasn't good enough, I don't think there was enough energy to get on the first one. So, as I say, I thought it was going to be one of them nearly nights. Everything was nearly okay, nearly good, and we managed to get out of it.
Was it a knee for Bakai or a knee?
No, we think it's more muscular.
Okay. What happened on the goal that Corey Baird was kind of alone at the back post there?
Poor decision making from probably 3 people. We'll have to have another closer look at it, but
So left back and center backs, or?
I think both full-backs, maybe the centre-back as well. I'll need to have another look, but it was one of them. Everybody stepping too late and one or two are stepping too early when we should retreat and get a shape behind the ball, and we didn't.
You've got 2 more games coming up this week with maybe a little distance between you and the playoff line this year. Does that make you feel like you can maybe do a little load management with some guys?
Yes, on Wednesday we will. Now, I don't know who and don't know what because I've not really thought about it, but there will be changes for the game on Wednesday, yeah.
Adrian, a few teams ahead of Minnesota United in the Western Conference table have fallen to trap games in recent weeks. You mentioned on Wednesday how important it was that you guys avoid that. Looking at the table right now, looking at the teams ahead of you, how important is it that you did not fall for what you dubbed a trap game tonight?
Well, it's strange, and, you know, when you're a player, you don't really think about it like you do as a coach, but, you know, LAFC, you look at their last 2 games, you know, there was nobody would have put money on San Jose beating them. But that's what happens. If you drop it at a level and you don't play well on any given night, this league, with the parity that's in it, invariably you get beat. You know, and tonight we've dug one out. Wasn't our best, wasn't the prettiest, but the players have dug one out. And the crowd were magnificent again. They might have got us over the line this evening because there was moments in the game where, you know, I always talk about it being a two-way street. We have to give them something for them to get ignited. And tonight we didn't give them enough, and they kept going. And I think they got us going again. So kudos, hats off to them.
So Jim, and then time for a couple more.
In general, with Reynoso, is this what you want to see in terms of combination of being aggressive scoring, but also retaining his playmaking prominence? I guess?
I've said it since Ray coming here. In terms of talent, there's nobody as good as him in the league. You know, tonight, that final ball, which is normally his biggest strength, the quality of final ball and the weight of pass wasn't quite what it should have been. But he's kept going, and, you know, as I've said all along, if we're going to do anything between now and the end of the seasons and maybe in the postseason, he's going to be a really important piece and instrumental in how far we go.
Was Hector Herrera's absence a surprise to you? I think he played 90 at the weekend. Was that a surprise?
Yeah.
Did that change things for you?
No, it didn't change the way we approached the game, but obviously we were anticipating him playing. Don't know for what reason he isn't.
If Bakai's out for an extended period of time, obviously Brent comes up like we
Yeah.
saw today. Who else is is it Callum? Is it Naby? Who else is kind of there? And
Kervin's played there for the national team and played in league games for his team down in Honduras. So we have got a few options.
Just what are your emotions walking out here today with the win?
Obviously a little bit relieved because I said to the players, I actually thought this was maybe the most important result of the season because I know we're starting to put, once you start getting down to 6 games left, we're starting to put pressure on the teams below us in terms of sometimes the draw's not good enough for other teams. And we've done that this evening, put a lot more pressure on the people below us. Obviously, there's games this evening. We'll see how they go. But if the results were to go well for us, you know, it puts us in a great spot.
Thanks, Adrian.
All right. Cheers, fellas.
We'll have Will Trapp, Michael Boxell, and